So, how many times have you been in a situation where you have a manager or a leader that's over you, and all they are is a taskmaster? They're just someone that just cracks the whip. They're constantly on you, but they're not actually helping you. They're not actually leading you. They're just telling you things to do. See, that is the majority of leaders that we see out there today because a lot of people are leaders because of position. And there's a big difference between being a leader of people and being a positional leader of people. And I want to talk about that a little bit today because this is the huge divide, because a lot of times what companies do and what businesses do is that they see people who are good workers. They do great things. They're good for the company. They make money for the company. So they go, okay, since you're such a good worker, we're going to make you a leader. We're going to put you in a place of management over other people. The thing is that doing their job and leading people are two totally different things. And most business owners, most companies don't take the time to help people get the gifts to lead people just to do their job. So here it is. Here's something I want you to see. And here's where you can become better. Here's where you can not be a positional leader, but a leader of people. Number one, positional leaders, what they do is they push people. Okay. You might have heard the phrase that you can't push a rope. No, you pull a rope. You lead the rope. You can't push a rope because when you push a rope, it just folds up on itself. And what positional leaders do is they're usually pushers. Okay. People are not like cattle. Okay. Cattle, you can get in front of them and you can crack the whip and you can push them. People, on the other hand, they don't herd like cattle. They start going in all different directions. They start getting frustrated and challenging that positional leader. So you get a positional leader who then gets more angry, who gets frustrated because the people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing or what I'm telling them to do. The thing is, you're pushing instead of leading. Now, how do you lead people? Well, leading is influence. Leading is putting the goal in front of folks and then giving them the tools to reach it. Listen, if you have employees under your leadership, they're there because they're there to do their job. Train them to do their job. Help them to do their job. Give them the tools to do their job. Lead them to the vision of, in doing their job, connects with the rest of the company and connects with the ultimate goals. That's the difference between a positional leader and a leader of people. The second thing that a positional leader does is usually a positional leader gets really stagnant. Positional leaders, they like what they're doing. They like the little bit of extra money, but then they don't go beyond that. They don't actually improve themselves to lead better because they're already at the point they want to be. They never expected to be at this position. They just wanted to do their job, and now they're in a position of leadership. So positional leaders usually get very stagnant. Now, people who want to be a leader or a leader of people, they're constantly growing. They're realizing that there are things that they don't know and things that they got to get better at because they've got to give the ones that they work for or work with the tools and the knowledge so that they get better. Because as a leader, you're ultimately trying to lift everyone up around you, where a positional leader, you're just happy with the status quo. The third thing that a positional leader does is usually a positional leader usually leads to burnout in the long run. And the reason why is you get frustrated and then you can't stay at this business any longer because nobody does what you want them to do anyways. So then you go to a different business, you go to a different job, you're constantly bouncing around from place to place, but then you have on your resume managerial leadership ability, supposedly. So you keep getting hired into these leadership positions that you're not equipped for. The better way is that you continue to grow. you continue to build yourself. And as you're growing and you're finding fulfillment in your growth process and in your movement of yourself personally, you will then lift everyone else up to where you are. I love John Maxwell's thing where he talks about the law of the lid. Okay, and what the law of the lid is that everyone has a lid of their abilities and their and where they're at. So you're, as a positional leader, it might be a 4 or 5. Well, everyone underneath you is only going to reach your lid. You cannot lift people higher than where you are. You only can go so far. But as a true leader of people who is pouring into yourself, who is growing, you're actually lifting your lid up. So you might start off as a 5, but within a year or two, you're a 7, you're an 8. Then you can then let everyone else come up because you see the value in lifting everyone else up and increasing their lid as well. Guys, I hope this hits. I hope this helps you guys out. You don't want to be a positional leader. For some, the positional leader is kind of the entry point. You know what? You work hard, you get promoted, you're a leader, become a manager. The next step is you can't stay there. You got to continue to grow. You got to continue to build yourself. Most companies won't do that, so it's on you. You've got to learn to grow yourself. You've got to be able to put value in yourself, like we've talked about before, and grow yourself. All right? I want to hear in the comments, have you ever been in a situation where you've had a positional leader over you who did nothing but just pull you and push you and try to corral you? Or have you had a situation where you've had a good, positive leader who's actually been a personnel leader, who's actually lifted you up, who's influenced you to grow and to become better? I would love to hear those stories in the comments and that we can have some discussion about that. Guys, I want you to be better so that you can give better, okay? And you can serve other folks. All right. Love y'all. And I hope you're enjoying this beautiful view as we say goodbye, and I'll see you again tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.